What's up, everyone? Showdown breakdown time. Lions, Packers, Thursday Night Football. Where my turds at? It's Thursday Night Football and my favorite show of the week, the Showdown Breakdown, with my Goombas, Bobbywow, and DFS Up North, breaking it all down. Guys, the success level of Showdown so far for the viewers of this show has been through the roof.
It's been pretty good so far.
I'm getting emails for multiple 100K winners. Advantage alone, LOL Advantage. 100K twice on Showdowns already.
Yeah, when's he gonna give us a little cut of that?
Fucking where's my Cash App name in the description below, right? Takedown after takedown. It's been a spectacular spark. Last Bobbywow, who was it? Oh, it was me talking about Odeus Zacchaeus. It was Bobbywow. Spitting Ronnie Bell gems in the show this past week. Odeus Zacchaeus, though, that I channeled my inner DFS Up North and Bobbywow for that one.
That was impressive.
Beautiful.
I was proud of you.
We were on it. I finished in on the prime time. I finished in 9th place. Had a DFS Army in the giant contest, and we had a DFS Army in 6th place in that one. Didn't quite take down the big tournament, but like, of course, then I look at the nickels and the quarter games, and it's like DFS Army, all over the top, because a lot of what we do and a lot of our subscribers, listen, we're catering to the everyman here, and a lot of our subscribers are playing the nickels and the dimes and the quarters, and there's nothing wrong with that. As a matter of fact, I strongly encourage it. If you are one of the people who are, if you're watching this and you're already subscribed to DFS Army itself, where you have access to our optimizer, if you're not playing the nickels and the quarter, what are you doing?
Yeah, agreed.
Play those.
If you're gonna play $10 on the slate, you might as well play 150 lineups on the nickels. Like,
yeah. $7.50. Like, these cost very little to max out. So make sure you're maxing those out and at least testing your skills. And if you could win it a couple times, that's when you should be stepping it up to the more expensive games. All right. But we've got a great one here. Lions versus the Packers. This game, I just had the odds open in front of me. The Lions are 1.5 point road favorites in this one.
Okay.
The game total is set at a neutral 45.5. If there is a neutral number for a game total, it's like 45.
45 and a 3-point spread. It's
white bread with mayo and ham.
You can respect that. I mean, I like that. That's delicious. But
American cheese, it's always a winner.
It's a great sandwich for a showdown.
Let's be honest.
Yeah, that's what the game total is for this one. But guys, we're going to have to dive deep, because both of these teams have some usage situations going on. Got players coming off injury, a lot of things like that on both teams. So, Bobbywow, you did the notes for this one, but let's start by talking through the Packers side of this game, and it is a complicated side.
It's a complicated side, and it's only getting more complicated because Christian Watson and Aaron Jones are both expected to play tomorrow. And so I don't expect Jones to be limited. I mean, it's a hamstring injury always brings re-injury concern into the mix. But both those guys are going to take production away from everyone else that we've been seeing put up decent numbers over the last couple of weeks. So, yeah, a lot to talk through.
One thing we did learn over the last few weeks with Jones injured is A.J. Dillon is not he's not the vulture waiting in the wings that we thought he was.
Like, he's better, I think, in a sort of where he's not running the ball every time, like in a timeshare, like he is with Aaron Jones.
Much, much better in that complimentary role. Ugh. AJ Dillon is, wow, he's been horrific. So, and let's take a look. I just want to see where he's salaried here. Did they salary him like a starter?
No, not quite, but he's like cheap. 50 or 7. He's 7K on DraftKings. That's probably too expensive.
Unacceptable. Right? Unacceptable with Aaron. You can actually just remove him from
the one thing I'll say quick. I hate AJ Dillon this week. I don't like him as a running back in general, but this is a showdown slate. It almost feels like this is where we get burned. So I'm not playing him much, but just to say that out loud.
Just, I mean, Aaron Jones as well. I've got the DraftKings salaries open here. They priced Aaron Jones all the way up. Second highest player price on this entire slate. Man, wow. Okay. So like a healthy Aaron Jones, I get it.
Right.
That's the
But
thing.
a questionable tag, hammy issues, makes it scarier to click that button. I'll tell you. At the very least, it's scarier to click that button.
Right.
All right. So running backs aside, Bobbywow, take me through the wide receiver position specifically for the Packers. We've had injuries. We've had all these names rolling in and out. Jalen Hyatt, Christian Watson might come back. Dobbs. No one's been getting a ton of targets. What's the story with these wide receivers?
I think Watson is going to be the clear-cut guy eventually. I don't know that it's this week, but he's the top dog. Dobbs is a stud. Okay, Dobbs doesn't get enough credit, and I'm really, really excited about him in this game, especially with the leverage that we can get because Watson's back. Everyone's excited about Christian Watson, rightfully so. And then Jaden Reed's kind of been the surprise to me, and I think the surprise of the season for the Packers. He's been really good. The production hasn't been there quite as much, but he's a guy that the Packers clearly want involved. So will he get potentially less volume with Watson back? I think it's probably safe to say he might get a couple less looks, but at the end of the day, it's clear the Packers want to make sure he's still in the mix. So he's been really good.
Yeah, it's interesting. Reed has been getting the 6 or 7 targets each week. Yeah. He's not, none of the snap counts are crazy high. They're all in like that 60 to 70% range. But yeah, Christian Watson does threaten to eat into a lot of the production of the other guys, as I think he is far and away the actual physically best of the wide receivers, and from a talent, speed, size, just dominance standpoint. This kid was a touchdown maniac last season when he was on the field. And you know what? For as sort of, how would I say it, pedestrian as Jordan Love has played in terms of his fantasy production, not in the real world game. I'm talking about as a fantasy quarterback, he hasn't got you more than 20 points.
Yeah, he has.
He's been the first couple of weeks were pretty good to Jordan Love.
22.9 there, buddy.
Averaging 22.9. Okay, so actually, it's been pretty good. There you go. 25, 20, and 20.
Look at that.
Yeah, all right. So
44 attempts last week.
Not quite tournament winners, but very good.
But he's been solid.
Yeah, very good, but he's not winning tournaments. But yeah, actually, that's been much better. But actually, when you dive into these numbers, it's tough to judge him harshly. The wide receiver group has been very banged up for this team, so you almost have to give him more credit than even what he's getting. Listen, the completion percentage isn't spectacular, but the wide receivers, even Romeo Doubs, has been banged up, and so he's just not had his complement. And
he's been running it a little. He had 9 attempts last week, 39 yards.
That's the big thing with him. He's been running. Yeah, he's using his legs.
That's sneaky. I like that.
Yeah. It's come on, Dixon Carter, with your crazy questions. Please,
I'd rather have Kevin Allen as the quarterback of the Jets.
What pisses me off about the Jets, I don't want to side note it, is that the Cardinals pull Dobbs off the scrap heap a day before the season starts,
and he's
better than every quarterback that the Jets have on the entire freaking roster. That's what pisses me off. What the Cardinals pull some guy off the fucking scrap heap, and he's better than Zach Wilson. Everybody's better than Zach Wilson. I will take Colin Kaepernick, out of shape, fat, and preachy Colin Kaepernick over Zach Wilson. I'll take anyone.
I'd take Zach Wilson's little brother. He's lighting up high school football right now.
The Cowboys gave a 4th rounder for Trey Lance. I'd give my freaking firstborn child for Trey Lance right now. What the hell?
I mean, I wouldn't go that far. He's not good.
No,
either,
that's not
crazy. Yeah. So sidetrack, we would have any of them.
Yeah. Anyway, this is Showdown Breakdown, guys. Yeah. Keep it on target in the chat.
I can't think of a better start for Jordan Love. Honestly, filling in for Aaron Rodgers, step into those shoes. It's been such a promising first 3 games for him, and that's coming from a Bears fan. He's been everything the Packers have asked and more.
Surprisingly good, and especially because I didn't think he was very good in preseason. He had some bad throws. He looked uncomfortable back there, and yeah, it's been good.
Love is good, and he's absolutely a candidate for the captain spot.
Yeah.
So which other wide receivers? So we got Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, Reed, Dontarian Wicks has been mixing in over here. Dontavian Wicks has been mixing in a little bit as well. Do we think that's the role that gets lost the most with the return of Christian Watson?
Yeah, I think these secondary guys, it's him, it's Toure is another guy that's been somewhat involved recently. Those are the guys that will take the biggest hit.
Yeah, it's just a tricky one. And you know how we talked about a couple of weeks ago, like certain teams that don't spread the football around. San Francisco was on here, and we're talking about the Vikings on Showdown Breakdown, and we this is the opposite. This team just spreads the football around a ton. So turds are going to be really relevant. Secondary guys, it's going to be somebody coming out of nowhere. That's probably going to be the one that you needed in your lineup this week. So let's be careful about that. Yeah, Luke Musgrave getting all of the touches at the tight end position for the Packers as well. So I think that's super relevant here. Luke Musgrave is somebody that the breakout is probably sooner than later. He's getting all the work. Like he's on the field the whole game, getting all the snaps, running routes. I think Luke Musgrave breakout is coming. Anybody else on the Packers side that we need to cover?
I don't know. I don't know how to say his name, but if it's Samori Toure, then I'm all in even more. But Toure for the Packers, we talked about the wide receiver position. He profiles the guy that could be the turd on the slate to score a touchdown. So he's the guy worth mentioning it at 600. But I think that's I
kind of like DeGuara, the other tight end there.
Josiah,
another turd tight end.
Me and Josiah. No, I'm not going to say it. All right, I want to save that for another time. All right, I'm saving it for another time. So let's move on to the Lions side. This is the more exciting offense from my point of view. It's the Lions, right? They're a team that we always want to target, and I think it's important to note. Actually, let's bring up the old power ranking sheet from StatStational, and I do like to pull this up. So Detroit is one of those teams where you want to target teams against them whenever possible. They are allowing. Let me see if I just get this number correctly. They're a team that allows less rushing yards per game than you would be shocked. Actually, they're allowing 43 fewer yards per game to opposing running backs than that opposing running back's average production. So the Lions are not a team that you want to target running backs against. Rather, they're allowing below average. They're below average in pass defense. So you want to target passing games against the Lions. But more importantly, the Lions offense is scoring so much and are so good that it effectively just elevates the fantasy production of any teams that they're facing for themselves and their opponents. So just a little side note on the Lions and the matchup itself. Good matchup, but the Lions are actually secretly, because no one is really aware of this, or it's not common knowledge that the Lions have been very, very good against the run to start the season. Will that continue? Who knows?
I think it's more or less, I don't know, are they that good, or is it just that you can pass like crazy against the Lions every week, and you got the Seahawks throwing for 360, and
that hasn't been the case so far. So like the statistics don't show that. The statistics just show that they've been really good against the run. I don't know why, but they've been good. But their passing numbers is not below average. So like it's been fine, but it hasn't been anything all that crazy. So of course, Amon-Ra St. Brown at the top of the list. Jahmyr Gibbs really disappointed a lot of people, Bobbywow, last week. Not in terms of his volume, but the results. I was particularly disappointed, just like the lack of passing game usage. You get 9 targets one week and then 2 the next week. I don't really get that.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's a tough team to understand when it comes to how they use those running backs. The return of David Montgomery makes things weird for this game. I really hope Montgomery actually doesn't come back. Let's take a look. Questionable, walkthrough, limited. 4 other players got the same treatment, and all 4 now listed as questionable. Do you think he's going to play?
I do. I mean, if Montgomery has any say, he's going to play. That he's a tough guy. He wants to be in the lineup. And I think the Lions, They want him to play. The Gibbs usage is perplexing, but I think Montgomery helps open up some of that passing game work for Gibbs. And Montgomery was heavily involved. He's a guy that's going to get the ball inside the 5. I think the Lions really, really like when he's on the field. So yeah, I do think he's going to end up suiting up.
Yeah, I think that Gibbs is not an every down back. Like, I get that you spent a 12th overall pick on him, but like, I just don't think he's a guy that's going to ever project as a 3 down back, right? Like, he's explosive, he's exciting, but like, he needs Montgomery in there to, take some of that beating so that he can do the rest of it.
I'm not ready to make a declaration like
that. I was ready to make that declaration like before the season started.
Yeah, I'm not ready to make that declaration.
I mean, can we be honest though? Are we really trusting the Lions, who gave up DeAndre Swift for nothing, and then like they're a poorly run organization who just continues to do poorly run things?
I mean, they made mistakes. It seems like. Well, let's see what happens with Swift. But like, I don't know. I'm not ready to make a determination on Jameer yet. He's a first-round running back. You don't take guys in the first round if you don't think that, to be like a secondary player. You take him there.
Right.
They took Swift also, and it didn't work out. But maybe they're being cautious because of the injury situations. I don't know.
Maybe. They never gave Swift the full run either, though.
They tried. I feel they tried. And he just he fumbled it when given the opportunity, which is why it's so interesting to see him doing well with the Eagles. But again, we're talking about the Lions right now, and we're talking about the showdown. So as far as the salaries go for these two, and I agree with Big Blue here. I do like Dan Campbell. Forget about the management and the rest.
Yeah, I do too.
Love that dude. So Gibbs and Montgomery, Bobbywow, priced really high, both of them.
Gibbs is up there. Montgomery's pretty cheap. There's a significant drop there from Gibbs to Monty on DraftKings from 9,600 to 6,800.
Yeah.
Monty's honestly is too cheap as a flex play on DraftKings if he's healthy. That dude's almost a lock to score a touchdown at this point, it feels like.
But you have to trust that he's healthy.
You got to trust he's healthy. It's his thigh, so not quite as scary as the hamstring injury, but
sure.
I think ASB is the top play still on this slate. He's the volume guy. He's still the number one. And for the Lions. I love him here. Yep.
Yeah, for the Lions. Last week, Sam Laporta, massive breakout game. He's just, it's funny. Lions tight end has always been a good role to have, right? That in this offense, the tight end does well. Sam Laporta is absolutely in play again this week and every week. But I don't know about 8K and the salary. This is a very high. This isn't Travis Kelce. 8K is like Mark Andrews pricing. What's going on? Like, that is not a normal tight end price for a showdown. We do showdown breakdowns every fucking week, 3 times a week, every single week.
Yeah, that's pretty high.
A lot of showdown breakdowns, right? You don't normally see tight ends priced at 8,000. Bobbywow, what's up with that?
He's such a perfect fit. I mean, you just talked about it. The dude fits so well in this Lions offense, and I think we've only seen the beginning for Laporta. This dude's going to be a weapon all season, and he still has that ceiling potential, despite that price being a little ugly.
Dude was 5,800 on the last showdown. Now he's 8K. I don't like it. Too much money.
Tough to swallow.
Too expensive for me. I don't like it. So Sam Laporta, a little pricey. Now, the wide receiver situation for the Lions outside of Amon-Ra St. Brown. Last week, you got a big donut from Josh Reynolds.
Oopsies.
But I think more often than not, as long as Reynolds is that starter, you're more likely to see the 5 to 7 targets than you are the 0. Was anybody else even involved at the wide receiver position? The Wiz, maybe?
I think the Wiz, you can make an argument for. Old Man Jones again saw 0 targets last week, so
I'm out on
sledding.
Marvin Jones. Yeah, I'm even at 2K. I think I'm out on MJJ, although the price is right, I guess. No, it does not look like anybody else is really doing a whole lot. So, Wiz Khalifa and
they better. I mean,
Josh
some of those
Reynolds
guys better
secondary options.
Some of those guys better do something here pretty quick because Jameson Williams is back from watching our DFS Army betting shows here in a couple of weeks.
You think Jameson's betting the Lions for this one?
He should be.
Yeah.
I like it. All right. Rookie NFL players and young players, please do not bet on your own team and do not bet from the stadium. It's not hard. It's like, don't be at work making bets, guys. It's not hard.
Not hard.
All right. So let's take a look at some ownerships here and actually talk through the captain position on DraftKings. So I've loaded up the DFS Army Domination Station Optimizer. Let me change the view as people can see the tool like that. Actually, I don't mind this view for the optimizer. Wait, let me see here. Let me see here. I didn't mind.
That's not bad. That's not good.
No, that's not good. Yeah, this one's okay.
Yeah,
there we go. All right, so load up the Domination Station Optimizer, and this column right here shows our current projected ownerships for the captain position. So Amon-Ra, top dog by far. Bobbywow, take me through some of these. Aaron Jones here, 10%. Jahmyr Gibbs, 10%. Quarterbacks, Montgomery, AJ Dillon. Ugh.
Watson's cheap.
Do we need all these? Let me go to the cheat sheet here. Do we need all these damn captains, or can we just do Amon-Ra? Can we just do Amon-Ra and maybe, I don't know, Christian Watson?
In cash, you could just do Amon-Ra. I think if you're looking for a balanced lineup, Amon-Ra is the guy. The problem is these injuries make things too complicated, and essentially we're forced to play a decent number of captains, or at least there's a larger spread of options with the injuries.
Viable players.
The chalkiness up top is rough. ASB at 15+% owned in the captain slot is not great for tournaments. Really?
I feel like I think he should be more. I think he should be like 20%. Like the correct.
I think he will. I would be surprised if he didn't get there. But yeah, he's the best option. There's no doubt about it. Josh, are you going to Christian Watson coming off an injury here? The price is intriguing, but
let me tell you why. So here's where I'm at on Watson. I think that, and I am like a Watson hater. Like coming out of college, I was not in on it. But he's been good. He's not been Randy Moss good. I
feel like you're a rookie hater. Every time there's a rookie, a young player,
it's not true.
You're just hating on him.
I just hate bad football players. So here's the thing: is through 3 games without Christian Watson, Jordan Love has the deepest depth of target of any quarterback in the NFL. Something like 15-ish yards, and now he gets his deep threat back. So this guy's not afraid to go deep, right? So I think that we could see, and again, at Watson's price, we're looking at 2, 3, 4 catches, couple of long ones, gets a touchdown. I think that, and here's maybe the tricky part with Watson is that. Was that me? Did my noise? Did you guys? I
did hear a little noise, but yeah, just keep going. It was a little squeak down.
I just think he's going to. Oh, okay. I got what I'm doing here. He is going to be like he can take some of those points away from guys like Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon because he just takes those big chunks of the field away, right? So I like him there. I think he's sneaky.
I absolutely, just to be clear, I just want to make my point very clear. I love Christian Watson as a captain. I think he might be the best captain.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh.
If he's healthy.
Ooh, I'm
kind of on the same page. If he's healthy.
If he's healthy.
$12K.
I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but last time the guy came in off of injury, he had the same hamstring injury all of last season, right? And then all of a sudden he played a game and he absolutely went bananas. And that was coming off the same kind of an injury. So I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm not able to judge whether his hamstring will continue to be healthy or not. That is just beyond the pay grade of any of us. But
it is.
If we just went into this game, so here's a couple of things we know. We know that the Packers have Jair Alexander, who is a talented cornerback who may or may not spend some time on Amon-Ra St. Brown in this game. And maybe slowing that top play down a little bit, right? Who Austin Smith is mentioning here in the chat as well, and correctly so. Now, he didn't mention why they shut him down, but you could shut him down a little bit with Jair Alexander. Not fully. But if you're the Packers and you're looking at the wide receiver group from the Lions, you're like, oh, this guy's really good. And then the rest of them, we could just throw our dusty corners on them and they'll do fine. Right. So it's Amon-Ra who's the problem. I would put Jair Alexander, who's elite. The Lions don't have anybody in their secondary that can stop anybody. Right. They don't have a brand name elite, a brand name cornerback. So what you said, Josh, I think Jordan Love likes to throw the deep ball, and Christian Watson likes to take deep balls to the house. That's what he does.
Yep.
I think that has the highest upside at that price of some of these plays at just kind of what I think. I think secondarily, Bobbywow, Aaron Jones, fine. He had a smash game week 1, although we did see, like I said in that sheet, that the Lions are weirdly better against the run than I think the field or anybody probably knows, or just have been pretty good against the run so far this year, whatever that means. But like maybe that mutes the running game a little bit for Detroit and force them to throw a little bit more.
Sure.
Tell me about Gibbs. Like, you think Gibbs does better when it's not expected? That's like such a DFS thing.
No, I look, Gibbs is explosive. We all know that. No one's debating that. And Josh mentioned it earlier. He might be better with Montgomery in the mix. Like things feel like they open up for Gibbs. And, again, this guy is in play for 8+ targets any given week. Clunker last week, but the PPR upside is huge on DraftKings. So I think he deserves to be in the mix.
Yeah, I feel that. Just in the mix, though, you got to be careful because I would like him a lot if I knew Montgomery was out. I would love it.
Yeah,
I would love
the touchdown vulture.
Yeah, but Montgomery in there, like you just don't know. It's funny with Montgomery in there. It's almost like they kept Jameer for a more pass catching role, which might be better. But I don't like the salary. Right. It'd been better if he was priced down. Then we could have that salary. So take me through the rest of the captain position. I mean, you literally have listed every player on both teams.
I thought the same thing.
What is this? This is every player on both teams as a potential. I'm trying to narrow it down. I get it, though. I get it. So, Josh Reynolds. So I'm just going to be critical of this. Fuck A.J. Dillon. Okay? This dude couldn't do it by himself. Hold on a second. Smokey, are we really playing A.J. Dillon after I tried to play it all of these weeks? And it just
hell no, fuck with your shit.
Hell no. I'm not fucking with your shit. No. I'm out on AJ Dillon. X mark. No.
He's got 1 star.
Sam Laporta had a big game last week, 8K. Yeah, all right. But like that is a ridiculous price point for Sam Laporta. So like, that is a very restrictive price, but he's effectively operating as a wide receiver. So I'm fine with Laporta there. Romeo Doubs, yeah. So I think Jaden Reed at 5,600.
Sure.
Yeah, you will take your chances.
I know.
I'm not taking those chances.
Oh, come on.
No, that one didn't go over that well. I apologize on that clip. But no. I don't like Jaden Reed either. I know that we like to take our chances, but with these cheapies, but he's not cheap enough at 5,600. He has to be like the starting wide receiver, I think, for that kind of price. I don't think even one big play is going to do it. So I'm off for the most part on Jalen, but it's marked that way. I think what I'm mostly taking away from this is that there's so many possibilities here. It could be anybody. This was a week, Bobbywow, where I think I'd even play the quarterbacks.
You could make the argument for it. Here's what I'm kind of thinking. One quick note on the QBs. The Lions' defensive line is starting to come together a little bit. They sacked the Falcons 7 times, and I think that's part of what's contributing to their run stopping is their defensive line is beefing up. So look out for Jordan Love to be under pressure a little bit more than he has been, and that gets me off him just a little bit.
By the way, and so you understand where the numbers come from on the power ranking sheet that I showed before. You just nailed it quite a bit. The Falcons were rushing for so many yards each week. They're rushing for like 180, 200 yards average. So if you hold them to like 90, all of a sudden you skewed your average massively effectively saying, hey, we held this team down 100 yards below their average. So that contributes to that statistic quite a bit. So it's not like an outlier. Last week they held the Falcons down significantly, and that did help that statistic.
Yeah, the Falcons didn't do anything running last week.
Yeah. That pretty much covers the I didn't ask you, Josh, what is your favorite if you had to choose? So Bobbywow, your favorite, let's just go through it. Up north, your favorite captain play? Because I always get this question.
Watson.
Yeah, you like Christian Watson. Bobbywow?
Dobbs and Laporta.
Dobbs and Laporta. Okay. It's
Okay.
Watson for me as well. So let's
look at
see
the
how it
ownerships
goes.
on both Packers top receivers. That's way too low. Dobbs, Watson, both. It's crazy.
This could change. I mean, Dobbs 0.78 is very, very low, and Watson at 2%. Yeah, I'll take that all day. I like them both. I'm fine with both of them. And by the way, I'm fine with the Dobbs pick too. I'm like, okay, he could do it. All right, let's talk flex plays, and most of the flex playable guys were in the captain zone, so it's not like
Unbelievable, man.
they're all there too. But there's a couple of names here that I didn't see, like Luke Musgrave getting more targets, 6,400. Khalif Raymond,
He's in play.
kicker.
Yeah,
Who's
right.
Khalif? Those guys are so priced. Khalif, Wicks looked okay last week, but Watson's back. He's so pricey on draft. $5K.
Some of this, I think these guys are so overpriced that we can ignore them. Or go
Potentially, right?
very low ownership on them. They're not going to show up in your optimizer runs because they're going to project very, very poorly. Like Dondavian Wicks, he's priced as if he's playing. Like he's priced as if Dubs is banged up and Watson is out.
Yep. Too
A
expensive.
lot of these guys are. It's not really good numbers on the Packers side. For Detroit, I'm fine with,
Even
I
the
mean,
Wiz, man.
yeah. They didn't give you
The
a bargain
Wiz.
on the Wiz. I mean, none of these players are priced in a way that makes it's not affordable, right? It's not affordable. It's not priced well. Are there any cheapies that make your lineup work? Is there a turd, Bobbywow, that you like?
It's really ugly. It's ugly down here. I think, Josh mentioned the backup tight ends. Both guys played a starting role for at least part of the season last year, so they're capable of falling into the end zone, catching a pass. And then, Torre, we mentioned. The other guy that doesn't even deserve a mention is Marvin Jones, but that dude is going to fall into the end zone one of these weeks and score. I think he's plus 380 this week, but
it's ridiculous.
No one else really playable.
I'm going to tell you something. All right. I made this call the other day. I made this call last week and it did work out. Sunshine, even what do they say? Broken clock is wrong, right a couple times a day, right?
Times a day.
Today's call for this game for DraftKings specific.
All right.
Is that let me go back to my view so I could show you the names, that we do not get a player under the kicker. I'm saying under the defense, as I see the kickers are priced up too. What the fuck, right? We do not a sub defense priced player in a winning lineup this week.
Ooh, in a game like this?
3,600, 3,500 and below.
Okay.
No one shows up in the winning lineup.
Okay.
I've been ripping out Old Man Jones all season. He scares me, but I think you're right. I'd have to agree with you.
Yeah, it would be Marvin Jones who would be the guy who's the threat, right? Or Samuel Taware or whatever.
Or like a Brock Wright, second
exactly.
tight end.
That could do it. Brock Wright, actually,
you
know what? If anybody's going to do it, it's going to be Brock.
Yeah. Comes off the
that'd
block
be the first
in
time.
the end zone.
Yeah, that dude just finds his way to burning you. All right, let's make a lineup on DraftKings here. And we'll demonstrate, I think, a little bit of why it's hard to afford all. There's no salary. Wiz Khalif should be 1,000.
Yes, agreed. Wicks should be min price.
Yeah, Dontavian Wicks should be 200. That's where your turds should be. The turds are priced like starters. This is ridiculous. So I don't know. I haven't actually, it's Wednesday as we're streaming this. I haven't made lineups for this yet. So let's take a look here. I want to start with my personal favorite. Because I don't, if you start with Amon-Ra and if you're doing this, it's like you're already in the turd zone.
It's ugly.
You just clicked one button. It's gonna be tough. All right, so let's try with my favorite, Watson. Okay, we put Watson here. 75-50 left. A kicker?
Yeah, I'd start getting kickers in there. I think this is a kicker game too, to be honest.
Patterson,
we said that the other night, right, Bobby, on Monday. It feels sort of similar here.
It's been a kicker season for the most part.
I'll put both kickers in there.
What, like the first time ever that everybody kicked a field goal in the NFL? Like what, last Sunday or 2 Sundays ago?
Is that what happened?
Yeah, FanDuel had to pay out a big parlay bet.
Huh. I like it. All right, so if we played Watson and 2 kickers, 94-33 remains.
Okay.
I'm thinking Luke Musgrave, maybe? That's a high price for Luke.
Not for me.
Sam Laporta, Bobbywow. Where are we going from here?
Laporta, I don't even, if you're getting sillier, get Montgomery in there because the game's going to be slowed down if we think 2 kickers.
I'm not trying to get too silly here. I might remove
Laporta.
a kicker.
Laporta would be the next guy for me.
Laporta. What about the quarterbacks?
Yeah, I think I like
Love Goff. A no Amon-Ra approach here.
Can you? No Goff with Laporta. All right, that's not a bad
Love.
GPP lineup.
You could get Love, Goff, Laporta. I mean, this is a weird one. I don't love it. I feel like Laporta is too expensive for what he brings. And I want Amon-Ra, even though it's not a good matchup. But when you go to Amon-Ra, Josh Reynolds.
That's not. I mean, you're getting 2 starting receivers.
I like Love over Jared Goff. What do you guys say about the competition between Love and Goff on this one? If you have to choose one, Love or Goff?
Love.
I'm taking Love too.
Josh?
No, just kidding. I can't do it. It's Goff for me. It's Goff.
Goff? Why? Why can't you do it?
The running backs, both Green Bay Packer running backs.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Even Dylan, as bad as he's been.
I think it's more likely that the Detroit running backs steal the touchdowns.
Both. I mean, yeah, both. This is a tough game for QBs.
I don't click that up there. The last one. If you love Dobbs and Watson at captain, on the. Wait. Can you see the chat?
No. Oh no, I'm looking at something else. Hold on. Lockett or Dell? Wait. If you like Dobbs, Watson is captain.
I don't think so. I don't think you have to have Love in the flex.
I don't know that is a must, but if I'm handcrafting it, yes, I'm preferring
naturally
that. So
gonna get there.
Let me see what Dobbs looks like up there. You know what? Dobbs being more expensive than Watson. You get Love in this one. You can't even get Amon-Ra.
Yeah, Dobbs being more expensive than Watson's hard.
Kickers, and then your Jalen Reed. These are such sketchy plays. Reed, Khalif, Wicks. I mean, it's very sketchy. You don't feel good clicking that button. Amon-Ra. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a way to make this work with Amon-Ra in the lineup. It looks better without Amon-Ra in a sense that you could get now Watson and like Laporta in there. This is a weird one. So didn't pre-prepare AJ Dillon's. Yeah, no, I'm not going to read that. So, all right, let's talk some FanDuel. The fact that it was this difficult to put a lineup together, though, on DraftKings just now tells me that it is going to be a good slate if you make mindful, thoughtful lineups for it. So sure. I'm going to have to spend some time tonight crafting some of these, but there's not that many ways of going. Like you could see here, even with the cheaper captain and 2 kickers, you really can only barely afford the rest of the. Normally, if you did something like that, if you captain and then put 2 kickers in a lineup, you could just click all the top most expensive plays. That's not how this is working out. They've got weirdly priced up kickers, and no one under the defense price that is even mildly acceptable. Could this be the first slate There's another math thing that I just thought of, guys. You remember I said before how no turd probably going to end up in the... I was just thinking the way that they salaried this might be one of those times where if you get like a 0 in there at 200, that might not ruin you.
You can just punt that 0 and try to get in the studs. That's not a bad strategy.
I've never even thought I've never even had such a thought before. There's never been a slate that I can remember thinking, I'll throw a 0 in here. But
you almost got to think who's most likely to score 3 points. If you're going to punt a total turd, who's most likely to score
let's revisit that. Hold on, because this is real now. Now I'm spending a minute thinking about this, and I actually think this is legit. So now I want to take back my no turd based on how the math works and how they salaried everyone. I'm telling you, it's just different than usual. Bobbywow, which of these turds is going to get me 2 or 3 points? Josiah, Samuel Tuare, Brock Wright.
Does Marvin Jones get you enough savings to get there?
I feel like he doesn't save enough. I feel like at 2K, it's not enough.
It's probably Toure or Wright for me.
Yep.
Yeah. He got 2 targets week 1 and has not been seen or heard from. Zonnie Knight, no.
He's not even going to play.
Josiah.
I put it in the notes. Both backup tight ends and Toure. If you're going to punt min price or close to min price,
look at what a lineup. Let's say you throw Josiah. I'm just hear me out. If you do this and you put a 200 in here, all of a sudden, right now, instead of these 2 kickers, Amon-Ra and Montgomery, or I could get you could really afford whatever you want this way. So
I don't hate that idea this week.
I didn't.
We've seen just the amount of times that a guy that is under or is 200, we talked about this on Monday, just ends up in the nuts lineup is insane.
You talked about nickels and quarter games. This is the quintessential MME slate. So if you're thinking about getting into MME, reserve those spots in the nickel game and run the dom. This is a perfect game for that.
Yeah.
Is there a way in the dom, Kev, that we can say I need a player priced under a certain price tag? You know what I mean? Or is there a way that we can get around that?
It will. You can make a rule that will.
You could say I want at least one of Brock Wright,
and then name them off. You don't want it to just pick them random, but if any of them have it, we have projections on these players. So technically, I don't know why I'm using that screen. I should be using this, but technically, there are numbers on some of these cheapies.
Yeah, right.
There are projections on some of them. Zonovan Knight is still projecting, by the way, as if Montgomery is playing. That will change. Is not playing. He's projecting as if he's not playing. But 300, the $200 guys. I guess that Mitchell guy. I'm just sorted by. Let me sort by salary instead of whatever. I've got it sorted by ownership. But if I go by salary down here, Malik Heath gets a point. Josiah. Samuel Tuare. You see this. The names are the same. Tuare's got a 2.5.
Sure.
And there it is. Zonovan Knight 4.9. Again, I believe that's a projection, assuming that what's his name is out. Craig Reynolds is getting the injured player projection. Yeah. I guess the best one is either Tuare. Yeah, Tuare looks like the best one of these at
sure.
At what price? At 600. So that's probably your turd of the week, so to speak. All right, let's talk FanDuel real quick, guys. And I hope that the lists are a little bit pared down, because if I got to play everybody as an MVP on FanDuel, I'm just done. So let's see. I'm finished. I'm sick of it. Hang on here. Let's get the proper screen going. So FanDuel, always a tighter pool. We love our quarterbacks in FanDuel. Can we just use the quarterbacks, Bobbywow? Can you give me permission to skip everybody else and only use quarterbacks as my MVP?
If you're trying to be safe, no problem with that. Both those guys are the most likely to get there. That's the reality.
I I think so too. Looks like Jordan Love priced above Jared Goff. If you needed more reason to think that Jordan Love is the better play beyond our projection preferring Jordan Love, it would be that FanDuel, who is very good at pricing players, definitely picked Jordan Love as the more expensive quarterback for the slate. I tend to listen. I think they're both good plays there. I don't think you need anybody else, Bobbywow.
You might not.
Amon-Ra, we already talked about all these players. Amon-Ra is not such a touchdown guy.
Yeah, that's the big thing with him. Yep.
Not a big touchdown guy. And you don't get the bonus for the 100 plus yards on FanDuel. No bonus. No 100-yard bonus. So it doesn't work as well. Take me through the running backs, though. I mean, Dylan,
Yeah,
gross.
It's gross.
It's gross, but it's all about quarterbacks, running backs. It's about touchdowns on FanDuel. We've seen Dylan pound 2 touchdowns in multiple times last season.
Yep.
I don't love it, but it's possible. So tournaments only. But yeah, I think all of these guys, especially the QBs and running backs, can make an argument for them in tournaments.
Wouldn't it be appropriate? Wouldn't be the most DFS relevant thing ever if this was the week that Jahmyr Gibbs went bananas?
Oh yeah.
We all played him last week. He was the chalk. This happens in DFS
all the time.
Always. Montgomery comes in, re-injures, and all of a sudden Jahmyr Gibbs just goes crazy. Montgomery chirping to the coaches, "I can do it, coach." And then he gets in the game and he retweaks whatever it is because, he's tough. He's got masculinity.
His leg could be hanging off. He'd play.
You love everybody. Anybody who is ever associated with Chicago, you keep a love place in your heart for them.
I don't.
You do.
I love the way he runs. He's just a good player to have on the squad. Here's what I'll say about Dylan. If I'm playing Dylan or Montgomery probably in the MVP spot, I'm not playing Love or Goff.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, Malcolm, the obvious answer is just play Jordan Love as if you're starting your FanDuel lineup right now and you only have one and it's in a cash game or it's in against your buddies in a 20-person contest, which is the perfect example, right? We don't have to worry about ownership leverage. We don't have to worry about who's going to be the highest. By the way, who is going to be, you know what? The ownerships are ridiculous here. There is no leverage to be had. They're all at 10 or 11%. So I think the best play is Jordan Love. And the second best play is Jared Goff. Or vice versa if you want to flip it. But I would actually have it probably Love and then Goff. But I don't mind if you flip it. Then after that, I think all of them are very thin.
Sure.
Yep.
Let's take a look at the flex positions on FanDuel real quick. And anything stand out to you, Bobbywow, from a price perspective here? There's Christian Watson at 11.5. By the way, I would add Christian Watson in my mix. He could be dominant. No?
2 tutties. He's got to get 2 tutties.
That's tough.
You got to outscore his quarterback, which is hard.
The big guy to mention is probably Musgrave at 8K. He's the standout value to me.
Yeah, him and the kicker too. Carlson's 8K and then Patterson's 9.5. That's a cheap kicker on FanDuel.
Sketchier kicker for sure, but yeah.
Is that why? What is the deal with Anders Carlton? Is he just not a good kicker?
Have you heard of him before?
No,
neither have I. I think he had a tough preseason. There were some questions coming into the season. I don't know. He doesn't inspire confidence.
He's perfect on the year, but he's only attempted 3 field goals. 3 field goals and 9 extra points.
Maybe that's what it is. The Packers games. Packers are notoriously slow-moving offense. They do milk the clock. They do have fewer snaps than most teams. It is noteworthy for whatever reason, but it doesn't matter in a showdown because both teams are working with the same set of circumstances. Yep. So it's not super relevant in a showdown. But you're right, Bobbywow. I'm looking here and it gets barren below the Luke Musgrave zone.
It really does. Yeah, you don't want to be using turds on FanDuel.
Gets barren. Like there's nothing here. Yeah, it's Tuore, Samori, Tori.
Bam Bam Night.
No. Marvin Jones, miracle dust touchdown. Dontavian Wicks probably would have been in the nuts for that touchdown he caught, but it gets really barren. You know what? It's going to be hard to build. I can't even load FanDuel on my screen, so I can't even bring up the site. By the way,
can we just talk real quick about how in our season-long fantasy league, I accidentally put in a waiver claim for Craig Reynolds last week instead of Josh Reynolds because I wasn't paying attention. And
how much did you pay for that?
I wasted $10 on Craig Reynolds.
Jeez.
My team was very Jets heavy, so obviously I wanted to go on brand. Right now. I wanted to go on brand for our draft, but that's a whole side note. So again, I can't even load FanDuel on my screen right now because I'm in the "You Are Not a Human" death screen. I wrote to their.
I saw your tweet. I saw your tweet yesterday. They told you to send you their.
I DM'd their support.
Did you send it?
Yes. And I spoke to their support. I'm like, I'm in the death screen. Why do you do this? I'm a big time player here. Like, oh my God, sir, we will get right back to you. And then I have not heard from them since.
Can't you turn that setting off? I feel like there's a way to turn that off.
I can get into it using an incognito browser that doesn't have an ad blocker on it. But I like my ad blocker. By the way, pro tip for you guys watching this YouTube stream. You don't have to see commercials on YouTube if you have an ad blocker on your browser. It blocks the YouTube ones also. I watch a lot of YouTube stuff. I don't want to watch commercials. Pro tip. I just destroyed any monetary value of this podcast, but I don't care. That's what we do here. We give the information out. You choose to do with it what you will. I already told everybody 1.5x is your friend. Well, ad blockers are your friends as well. You don't have to watch commercials.
No.
I hate commercials. Bro, I'm fucking busy. I ain't got time for that. So I can't open.
Okay, hold on. I know we're busy, but you know what drives me bonkers? Can we get into this? My wife watches shows that are available on Netflix or Amazon or whatever, particularly The Office on Comedy Central with commercials. And it drives me absolutely insane.
Oh my goodness. That would drive me up the wall.
Oh,
that's serial killer behavior right there.
Yeah, that would drive me up the wall. I cannot
tell you said that I'm not going to be allowed on the podcast next week.
Yeah, I cannot watch it. You guys shouldn't watch commercials for this. People are like, why do you have it monetized? It is, trust me, it's not to make money.
No.
YouTube will simply not distribute anything if you don't have monetization on. It's just that it doesn't do it. So we have to turn it on. But I strongly recommend you have an ad blocker on your browser. It does not pause for commercials when you have it. So will they block it? Did I just destroy our account by sharing that information?
We've lost. It's over.
All of a sudden, YouTube's like, nerf. You can't ever. No one will see anything. So anyway, I'm not going to build a lineup on FanDuel because I cannot bring them up on my screen as of right now.
They're going to send someone to your house. I'd be more worried about FanDuel than YouTube.
Geek. No, I don't care. Fuck FanDuel.
I was just building on FanDuel. It's not that hard on FanDuel. It's not as hard as DK, even with the turds.
Are you trying to squeeze both? I think you got to try to get both quarterbacks in your lineup.
Yeah, I mean, so I've got a lineup right now with both quarterbacks. It's Love at the cap or MVP, Goff, Watson, Musgrave, and Carlson.
Okay. Yeah, Carlson because the AK and Musgrave at AK, and it makes everything.
I mean, you could go Wiz. You can go Wiz or Jaden. Well, you can't go Jaden Reed because you can't have all Packers. But
I like double tight end flex again on FanDuel.
I feel like Sammy Laporta at 10K is a fairer.
That's a fairer
value price than what you're seeing on DraftKings. Like I like him better here on FanDuel. He's somebody.
Oh yeah, you could go. You could go Goff, Laporta, Love, Musgrave, Dobbs. That's not bad.
Yeah, I love that lineup.
Yeah,
that's good.
Nice.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
All right, let's wrap it up there. Showdown breakdown. Thursday Night Football. Detroit. Green Bay. This should be a good. I can't believe I should have worn my Packers hat for this. Didn't occur to me until just now. But
it's been such a horrible time for Chicago sports.
Oh man!
Yeah, can we
not
see the
Cubs? You see the ball dropped yesterday? I don't know. You guys aren't baseball guys.
I
No.
saw the highlight today on this morning on Sports Center.
I cried. It's been so bad.
Why are they doing this to you, Bobbywow?
I needed this. This pod was good. Let's win some money. Let's get the helmets up top.
Chicago Sky good, Bobby?
No, Candace Parker's gone.
Good. WNBA.
No.
Oh, okay.
Whenever your team, your Bears are shit, the Cubs are messing up. That's why we build our own DFS teams, right? We control it. We can root for our players. We can love them. And then as soon as we win, if they win us money, we love them more. And then if we don't, if they lose us money, we move on. And we're like bachelors. We're like bachelors. Instead of like getting married to a team, we're playing the field. We're out here like, yeah, who's your favorite team? I'll tell you who it is today. Tonight,
I have a disease.
I got my favorite. Well, see, I got burned by the Jets so much. It's like, all right, here's the Jets. You fall in love when you're young, right? And you will do anything for this woman, but she cheats on you. She's going with everybody else. Not only does she do that, which is hurtful, but she laughs behind your back all of your friends know that she's cheating on you. And she laughs about it behind your back all the time. And she destroys your soul, right?
Yep.
You finally come up out of the cloud of horror. You finally find out. You go into a desperation just of despair. And you come out of it, right? And you're like, you know something? No one's ever going to do that to me again. And you come out and you're like, fuck you, team. I don't love you anymore. All I care about is what you're going to do for me. And that's when you turn into a DFS fantasy football DFS lunatic. And the only person I treat for, the only one I root for is the one I got my money on that night.
That's a good
I
point.
take them out to dinner. I pay. Sometimes they come back to my place. You make me more money. You know what I'm saying? And then at the end of it, I'm like, she's like, can I stay over? No. I already called you an Uber. It's going to be out in 5 minutes. I paid for it though. Thank you. And that's it. And then you move on. That's DFS compared to Team FanDuel.
That's hard.
I don't know how. I feel like sometimes you tout and sometimes you're going to be a therapist around here. That's how I got past. True. That's how I got past the hurt. I was hurt. And I got past it by saying
on Sunday, I came downstairs to record the Sunday Night Football podcast when the Vikings got the ball back with like a minute 40 on the clock because I knew they were going to lose. And I recorded and just listened to my 6-year-old son get his heart broken upstairs when TJ Hawkinson couldn't catch a pass in the end zone to win the game. But he doesn't know better yet. He'll get there.
No, if you're
We're doomed.
Jets fan,
we're all doomed.
If you're a Jets fan, like I said, when Aaron Rodgers got hurt, did you see me go into a spiral? No, I was like,
no. You were the one Jets fan that didn't.
I was waiting for that. I was like, yeah.
I guess the good news is, Josh, when the Bears got the ball back with 1:30, they were down 45-3. So less heartbreak, I suppose.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Oh,
there was less heartbreak there.
Yeah. Dixon,
we're back on the well. We're back on Justin Fields this week. So
I'll tell you after my first date which one I do.
I'm on until they make me get off.
Yeah.
The Justin Fields train.
Right. I'm the Justin Fields train. By the way, I capitulated this week. Pulled him out of my season-long team. Kirk Cousins.
Did you?
You're in.
I traded for him.
Don't do that. I capitulated. I was like, I can't take it anymore. I'm out. I'm out on Fields.
All right.
Maybe
this was fun and therapeutic. This was therapeutic. So thank you for that. Thanks everybody for supporting us.
Don't let that team break your heart anymore. You gotta be ready. I got someone else waiting for me. You can't break my heart. My heart is cold of stone and ice.
We'll work on that. We'll work on it. But let's start with the helmets on top tomorrow.
It's barren in there. All right. Anyway, good luck, everybody.
Barren.
Helmets up. Let's crush another showdown. This is a tough one. Be generous with your ownership spread, I guess, because I don't know if this is a tough one or it's a really easy one.
Cast a wide net.
We'll find out. Cast a wide net, and good luck tomorrow, everybody.